Safety should be the first concern of every crew member involved in a film shoot. The equipment used in production can be particularly dangerous, and the haste and improvisation which are in the very nature of the filmmaking process puts individuals at even greater risk unless they are conscientious of safety at every moment. Safety begins long before the shooting day. It is the responsibility of every crew member to educate themselves about safety and to arrive on set, on time, well-rested, and healthy. The AD, or Assistant Director, is the main safety officer on any crew. The AD will have brought up all safety issues during pre-production meetings and is responsible for the safe conduct of everyone involved during the production. They will inform the crew about and enforce appropriate safety precautions. All the information in this video may also be found in written form and is downloadable from the First Light Video website. Read it prior to any shoot and reference it often. AD's first job at the beginning of every shooting day is to conduct a safety meeting with the entire crew present. New and returning crew members must be informed on a daily basis of the safety precautions for that day's shoot, such as stunts to be performed or particularly hazardous rigging. The AD makes sure everyone is aware of the locations of fire extinguishers, emergency exits, and the first aid kit. They also post prominently the locations of the nearest fire station and emergency hospital. The AD checks that all crew members are in proper attire. It is particularly important that footwear be sturdy sneakers or boots. Sandals or high-heeled shoes of any kind are not permissible.
I'm sorry, but you can't wear those shoes on this set. Art, hitch him up.
The AD ensures that all crew members wear well-fitting clothing. No clothing should have excessive fringe or any loose pieces that could possibly get caught in equipment. Clothing should be appropriate to the weather, thin and shading the head if it is hot, waterproof from head to toe if it is wet, and warm and layered if it is cold. Crew members are responsible for bringing alternate clothing to change into should weather conditions change unexpectedly. Particular care must be taken working around equipment trucks. The driver needs to be particularly aware of the tendency of the vehicle to take wide turns. Be careful when maneuvering a truck in close quarters. Use at least one spotter anytime the vehicle needs to be reversed or moved through a narrow passage. Be aware that the truck is much taller than a standard vehicle. The contents of the truck may have shifted during travel. Open the door slowly and carefully so that nothing can tumble out. A truck's lift gate is powerful and can cause serious injury. It should be operated by one crew member at a time, who always yells out a warning to alert nearby crew members to stay at least 5 feet back from the moving lift gate.
Lift going up.
Loads on the lift gate should be secured with sandbags and steadied from above if necessary. When moving equipment, use extra people to move large loads. Move only an amount of equipment you can handle without strain. Avoid carrying anything that could be moved on a cart. And be particularly careful and patient moving equipment through narrow passages. Make sure you are in the habit of lifting heavy loads properly, with your legs, not your back. The director should run through the basic action of the first shot for the cinematographer or director of photography, as well as the AD and sound as soon as possible, in order to allow adequate time to set up the shot. A film crew works collaboratively, working together and sharing their creative ideas to make the best possible movie. In order to perform their duties and communicate efficiently, especially on a larger crew, they work within a hierarchy. This allows each crew member to focus on their area or department and communicate primarily with their immediate superiors. This facilitates every area of the film receiving maximum creative attention, but also ensures that particular crew members have specific safety responsibilities. Those safety concerns can always be taken directly to the AD. Time should always be taken for the crew to communicate. It makes for better films and safer shoots. The best boy and electrics are responsible for all power distribution, from on-set lighting to extension cords for craft services. Cables should be run together out of foot traffic areas as much as possible. When cables must cross any area where they could present a tripping hazard for the rest of the crew, they must be secured with tape, heavy carpet, or rubber matting. When using power on location, particular care must be taken not to overload circuits. In any case, no one should ever plug anything in on set before checking with the best boy. The key grip and grips are responsible for all rigging, meaning anything that needs to be hung or put on a stand. This includes the setting of light stands. When carrying a stand, a warning should be yelled out so that crew members can move out of the way of the possible hazard.
Point coming through.
C-stands are not safe if they are not set correctly. A C-stand arm is designed to extend over the knuckle, with the load on the side toward which the knuckle tightens. This way, if the load forces the arm to slip, it will actually tighten and stop. If the rear of the C-stand arm extends beyond the base, a marker should be attached to it so that it can be clearly seen. Grips are also responsible for the dolly. Once dolly tracks have been set, the crew must be careful not to trip on the tracks. Heavy dollies should not be lifted but ramped onto their tracks with wedges. Once on the track, the dolly should be prevented from rolling off the track with clamps. When not in use, the dolly should be locked. No one should mount the dolly without the dolly grip's permission. The gaffer is responsible for executing the lighting for the DP. Movie lights are one of the most potentially hazardous pieces of equipment on set. They should not be handled by anyone who does not have adequate training. No one should ever turn on or adjust a light without the instruction of the gaffer.
Heat up that 1K.
No one should ever touch a light once it is on set without gloves on. A warning must be yelled anytime a light on set is turned on.
Light striking.
The lights get very hot and should not be used near heat-sensitive fire sprinklers. To access anything beyond your reach, always use a ladder. Resist the temptation to use something to step on because it is nearby. When using a ladder, never stand on the top 2 steps and have someone stabilize the ladder if you must climb above 3 rungs. Nutrition and hydration should be available to crew members throughout the entire shoot. Craft services keeps a crew happy, but more importantly, crew members who lack energy or focus are a hazard on set. Snacks should include fruits and vegetables, as well as snack bars and candy bars. Drinks should offer both caffeinated and decaffeinated options. Particular care must be taken with talent. Actors should not be expected to be as aware of the possible hazards on a set as crew members. It is the AD's responsibility to get the actors to the set and make them aware of any hazards. If child actors or animals are in the cast, they must have a crew member assigned to watch them at all times and should be kept away from the set and all hazards when not performing.
This movie, massive gun. Jet. Give me the jet.
Okay, quiet on set. Roll sound. Roll camera. Mark it.
Wrath of Cain, scene 24, shot 3, take 1. Clear frame. Action!
As shooting begins, the crew needs to stay aware of possible hazards. Any possible safety concern should be reported to the AD promptly. Watch out for burning smells, trip hazards, blocked fire exits, damaged equipment, or unsafe behavior by crew members or talent. Late arriving crew members must be briefed individually on safety by the AD. Candles and cigarettes should be handled with great care on a set. Any larger fire used on set, even a group of candles, must be supervised by a paid fire marshal. No one should ever smoke on set except the actors while performing. All stunts should be planned by an experienced stunt coordinator. If weapons of any kind, guns, knives, or swords are to be used on a production, local law enforcement needs to be made aware and may require special weapons permitting, even if the weapons are to be used on a closed set. The use of functioning firearms, even with blanks, should be avoided. Remember, realistic muzzle flash can very easily be added in the post-production process. Crew members need to be made aware of all aspects of any stunt beforehand and should watch for potential hazards. The weapons specialist will only allow the actor to handle the weapon during the actual filming. No one else should ever handle the weapon.
Oh, lunch, guys. Sorry about that. It's lunch.
A meal break must always come no more than 6 hours after crew call. All meals should be nutritionally balanced, and enough must be provided for the entire crew and cast. Everyone should get at least half an hour to eat. Should it be necessary to change locations in the middle of a shooting day, the company move must be handled carefully in spite of the temptation to rush to the next location. Even for a short move, all equipment should be stowed securely in the production vehicles. When shooting outdoors, different attire may be needed at different times of the day. When it is sunny, shade must be provided if it is not available. Sunscreen should always be worn. SPF 45 or above is recommended. Hydration is even more critical on warm days. Plenty of water should always be available. The colder, the better. Should there be light rain, or even the threat of rain, shelter must be provided if it is not available. Lights must be shielded from the rain, and all electrical connections must be thoroughly wrapped in plastic and raised off of the ground. If rain becomes heavy, the shoot should be canceled. Should it be windy, lights and stands should receive additional sandbagging. Rope can be used to stabilize tall stands. Nothing should ever be set up anywhere near power lines. Special care needs to be taken on night sets.
Okay,
Trip
quiet.
hazards need even more attention, and all crew members should use flashlights in poorly lit areas.
Scene 53, Charlie, take 7. Marker.
This time I'm sending you away. Forever.
No shooting day should exceed 12 hours.
That's a wrap, guys!
The AD must also make sure that there is at least 12 hours of turnaround, meaning the time between one day's wrap and the next day's call time. Enough time must be allowed within the 12-hour shoot day to have an orderly wrap. The temptation to rush in order to get home must be avoided. Extra care must be taken because the crew is tired and may be working in darkness. No one should ever drink alcohol during a film shoot, especially during a wrap. Always allow lights to cool adequately before handling or stowing them. At night, the work light should be the last piece of equipment struck. Safety is as much of a concern on a small set as it is on a larger set. Even on a two-person shoot, common sense and caution must be exercised at all times. Making a great film is important, but not with your health or your life. Safety should always be the first concern of every crew member involved in any